Witness this epic showdown as young Magnus Carlsen takes on the reigning title holder for the World Chess Championship, unleashing mind-blowing strategies and lightning-fast moves. Watch how he achieves the impossible and claims victory. Who do you think will triumph in this epic clash of chess titans? Let's find out together. In an epic battle for the World Chess Championship, young Magnus Carlsen faced the reigning champion Vishay Anand, who had held the title for 5 years since 2007. The tension was palpable as the game began. Anand opened with the move d4, and Magnus responded swiftly by developing his knight to f6. This opening sequence was familiar to both players and seemed like a comfortable start for Anand. Magnus showed remarkable experience and launched an aggressive attack by moving his dark-squared bishop to b4, aiming at Anand's knight. Anand had a few options to respond, but he chose the sharp and aggressive f3 move, signaling an explosive game ahead. As the game progressed into the East Indian defense variation of the Indian game, Anand developed his knight to b3, gaining control over the central squares d5 and e4. Undeterred, Magnus attacked Anand's knight with his bishop, and Anand decided not to trade, but instead played f3, escalating the tension. Magnus played pawn to d5 to stop Anand's pawns from gaining more control over the center. Anand then executed a bishop trade on c3, giving him doubled pawns on the c-file. Despite the challenging situation, Magnus fought back by advancing his pawn to c5, leading to further trades, and both players found themselves in an even position. However, Magnus surprised everyone with his boldness. Instead of defending his weak position on the right side of the board where Anand had an advantage, he became aggressive on the left side. Vishay aimed to attack Magnus's kingside, but didn't expect Magnus's powerful response. Magnus safely castled his king and launched a devastating move, knight to b3, forking Vishay's rook and bishop on the back rank. Suddenly, the reigning champion found himself on the back foot, facing a fierce counterattack. The game was at a critical juncture, with both players showcasing their strategic prowess and boldness. Magnus's young age belied his incredible talent and the ability to see into the game's future. At first glance, the trade may seem like a bad move for Carlsen, but it was a calculated strategy. The trade allows Carlsen to develop his rook onto a6, effectively creating a defensive line that Anand's pawns can't cross without being captured. Anand advances his pawns to set up a trade and break Carlsen's defensive line. In response, Magnus activates his knight to the left side of the board, leaving his king vulnerable. The players trade pawns on b4, and the defending champion tries to stop Carlsen's attack by trading rooks on a6. However, Magnus recaptures with his knight, and the game seems favorable for Anand. But Carlsen has a secret weapon. His pawn on b4 has a clear path to the end of the board, potentially gaining him an additional queen and sealing the game. During the game, Anand made a good move by putting his queen on f4 to stop a possible threat. This caused his opponent Magnus Carlsen to move his knight back to protect his king. Anand continued to improve his position by moving his pawn to f6 on the right side of the board, while Carlsen defended himself by advancing his pawn to g6. Anand changed his plan by moving his queen to h4, which could result in a checkmate in just 2 moves. He would win the game if Anand could get his queen to f8. However, Carlsen reacted quickly by placing his knight on e8 and securing the g7 square. The checkmate threat is still possible even though Carlsen is defending himself. Anand could move his rook to h4 and then the queen to h7 for a checkmate in 2 moves. Magnus knows the high stakes and the possibility of winning the World Chess Championship. Carlsen takes a bold step to defend himself and advances his pawn to b2, allowing him to promote the pawn to a queen if Anand attacks with his rook. This move would also check the white king. Anand decides to keep attacking, which results in Magnus having 2 queens. Although Carlsen has more pieces, his king is cornered with no escape route. Anand relentlessly attacked Carlsen's newly promoted queen, leaving Carlsen's king vulnerable and at risk of losing. However, Anand made a surprising mistake by sacrificing his attacking strategy to move his knight backward to defend his king. Both players realized the mistake, shook hands, and the game ended. Magnus Carlsen became the new World Chess Champion as a young prodigy. He rose to the top and now stands as the world's best chess player. In an astounding display of brilliance, young Magnus Carlsen shatters all expectations and becomes the new World Chess Champion. Like, share, and subscribe to join us on this thrilling chess adventure. Comment below with your favorite moment from this epic match and your prediction for Magnus's next opponent.